Alright, hey guys, so today I wanted to post a video on my Versys 300X. Yeah, pretty cool, huh? When I was looking at this bike, I didn't really see too much information on it. So, thought I would do a 660 mile update on it. Who is this bike for? It's a weird bike. It's a 300, so it's almost too small to do anything really good. Like, you can't really do long distance touring that well. I mean, it's a 300. It'll do 80 miles an hour, but it feels like it's gonna explode if you keep it that way too long, or at least you think it's going to. But I guess it doesn't. It's like at 10,000 RPM, and it's just like, I guess this is where it wants to be. There's tons of accessories for it. You see, I got a little rack here for it, a little bag, and then there's also hard cases that go on there. And I bought a 12 volt accessory charging port. I got a little GPS thing. I got to put this in still. You can see I'm at 660 miles. So I'll give you my impressions over 660 miles. I like it a lot. But here's some qualifiers. I used to have a KLR 650. I used to have a KLR 250. And I used to have a KLX 250. So I like those dual sports. I like being able to go anywhere. And I would say this one is probably more like the KLR 650, I would say. It's more similar in that, but not as much power, obviously. It doesn't have as much torque, but it has about the same high end. When you get up to about 10,000 RPMs, it feels pretty similar, because I think this thing has the same horsepower to weight ratio as the KLR 650. So it's way lighter. I think it puts out like 30 or 40 horsepower. It's like 39 horsepower, I think this thing puts out. But it weighs not much at all. So I like it. It's a great commuter. I've been averaging about 58, 60 miles per gallon, depending on how fast I go. If I'm going 50 miles an hour, I think it's going to get 70 miles a gallon. It's got a 4.5 gallon tank, so even if I'm doing 80, I'm still getting at least 50 miles a gallon. So I'm going to get a 250 mile range for doing touring. And it's comfortable. It doesn't vibrate that much. On my 650s, on my KLR 250s, you feel the vibration. Like on the KLX 250s and the KLR 250s, it just vibrates so much. That single cylinder, you feel like you're going to be sterile after riding it for a few hundred miles on it. This thing, I could see riding this for a few hundred miles, no problem. They make an additional seat that's supposed to be a little bit more comfortable, which, if you're planning on doing some real touring with it, I would get a new seat. Also, the windscreen is not good for highway speeds. I'd want to get a bigger one that comes up a lot higher. I'm 6 foot, and the wind hits you kind of right in the face, and I don't know, it's really loud. I'd like to get a taller one. So that's what I would do with that. But overall, it's a great bike. It's super lightweight, super nimble. It's so flickable. I rode with my buddy. He's got a BMW GS 650, and we hit some real twisty roads, and I smoked him. Maybe I was a better rider than him. I don't know, but this bike is just so light. You could just twist through the turns on it. It's got like the more of the street tires on it. But we found some off-road stuff and went through some water. Handled it just fine. Went through about a foot of water, no problem. Did some railroad tracks, and so it's an off-road capable bike. But yeah, you can't adjust the suspension, so it's going to do light duty stuff. You're not getting airborne on it really, but I don't really care about that. I just like to do trails and being able to ride on the highway to get there. And this bike is perfect. I'm glad I got this bike instead of the KLR 650 and the KLX 250. So hopefully this helps. Ask any questions. Hopefully I'll still have the bike. Yeah, I put about 660 miles on in about a month and a half. So I've been driving it pretty decent. But, alright guys,